Did you know that Diana Wynne Jones attended lectures from both C.S. Lewis and Tolkien? According to Jones, C.S. Lewis was a marvelous lecturer who made even the dullest topics shine. Tolkien, however, was a different matter. Jones said that he actually worked at not letting you hear because he wanted to go away and finish writing The Lord of the Rings. So to do this, he apparently chose the smallest lecture room and spoke with his back to the audience, mumbling the whole time. Unfortunately for him, he didn't scare away Jones and one other person, so he had to keep lecturing. As I will discuss more later, both Lewis and Tolkien clearly influenced Jones' writings. However, she also admits to being influenced by several other authors as well. Most of these influences actually come from Jones's adulthood. As a child, she wasn't really allowed to read for enjoyment very much. Her father was a teacher, but he didn't believe in buying books for his kids. So when she finally did get the chance to read the books that she liked, she was fascinated by them and liked many authors. Among these authors were Ian Nesbit, whom she described as blindingly wonderful, George Meredith, and Joan Aiken. She even admits to being influenced by Chaucer. Jones said about his writing that, "I found a man writing who was more subtle than Odysseus, playing with the kind of narratives I had previously enjoyed, telling them in different styles, delicately deflating the hero." She admits to often applying Chaucer's technique to her own heroes and heroines. But while many authors have influenced her work, none have been as prominent in an influence as C.S. Lewis and Tolkien. As she said about Lewis's lectures, a whole lot of people took his lectures, thought about it, and began writing. At the sentence structure level, one can see some similarities. I took a similar sized paragraph from Year of the Griffin by Jones, Magician's Nephew from C.S. Lewis, and Lord of the Rings, and broke them down like we did in class previously. As you can see, the number of nouns, verbs, and pronouns are similar in all three. But overall, I think it's clear that Jones still resembles C.S. Lewis more closely than Tolkien. Beyond structures, Lewis and Tolkien also influenced Jones's content. According to Jones, both Tolkien and Lewis showed her that it was possible to create books that had different worlds in them, such as Narnia and Middle-earth. And it was Tolkien who showed her that it was okay to even write about fantasy. She said that during that time period, it was kind of viewed as unacceptable to make things up when writing. So she was kind of reluctant to write fantasy in the first place. But Tolkien's Lord of the Rings came out and she realized that it was okay to write fantasy after all. Plus, as bad as Tolkien tried to be at lecturing, Jones was still fascinated with them. She said he would say the most marvelous things about the way you take a very basic plot and twitch it here and there, and it becomes a completely different plot. Jones demonstrates her fascination with this concept over and over again in her books. It's what makes her own writing so fascinating. Her plots are often they start out as being very cliche and everything, but she does something with them. She changes little things here and there that make them totally different than the old storyline would have usually gone. She changes it into something new and totally different. So while she may have missed out on reading as a child, she made up for it as an adult by being able to be influenced by two of the most famous fantasy writers in history, giving her own writing a very strong background to become great. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
So I see that you looked at sentence structure.
I did. I was open with that.
What did it tell you about her writing? I mean, what did it say about the way that it sounds to you?
Because I was trying to figure that out as well, and obviously she's more descriptive with things like adjectives-wise than Tolkien. She goes the describing nouns a lot. I think I couldn't really bad at that so far, trying to figure out what it actually means. but I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it. I just was curious if you had any, like,
I was just trying to compare the structures
Yeah.
in general, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the adjectives definitely tell you something about how much description.
Yeah, as it
writer
says, she
likes.
likes her description of her nouns.
Yeah. Interesting. Thank you. Anyone else? Good.